Representatives from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and Lane County, Oregon, recently invited the public to learn about one of the tools they use to prepare for emergencies.
So this is basically 10 feet above.
They're called inundation maps, and they illustrate the most extreme outcomes if a Corps dam was to catastrophically fail.
This is not event specific. So there's nothing in
The series of public meetings gave Lane County residents the opportunity to see the maps and ask questions, and for the Corps to explain what the maps are and what they are not.
Really, the maps are data that these emergency managers would take to create an action plan so that they can prepare in the unlikely event that there is a dam emergency.
In other words, the maps themselves are not evacuation or response plans. They provide information local emergency managers can use when developing those plans.
The key piece of information that I get as Springfield's emergency manager is the extent of the flooding that might occur if we had a catastrophic dam failure. That then gives me much more information for evacuation planning and shelter planning.
In the Northwest, dam failure following an earthquake is a common concern. It may surprise some people to learn that dams are pretty resilient when the earth moves.
Dams have historically performed well in earthquakes. The effect that an earthquake would have on a dam depends on how large that earthquake is and how close it is to the dam. If you study historical dam failures, only a very small percentage are attributed to earthquakes.
One recent example, the March 2011 earthquake in Japan was basically the Western Pacific equivalent of a Cascadia event. In Japan, one small irrigation dam completely failed. Of 252 dams inspected the next day, 6 embankment dams had shallow cracks on their crests. All were functioning with no problems. The inundation maps shared by the Corps with the public depict the consequences of several extremely unlikely and severe dam failure scenarios. What they don't address is the likelihood of any of those scenarios occurring.
Risk is defined as the product of the consequences times the likelihood of something happening. The maps just talk about the consequences.
While there is some risk inherent in having dams upstream from communities, the most effective risk reduction measure for any dam safety emergency is preparedness and an effective response plan.
We really do encourage the citizens in Lane County to become aware of the threats and hazards that are around us, and to do the most that they can to prepare themselves in the event something bad happens.
I'm Michelle Helms in Portland, Oregon.